Well, welcome to Front Porch Conversations. We're so glad you dropped by today to just sit a spell with us. And you're not going to believe who came to visit with us this afternoon. And that is a new resident, fairly new resident, named Bruce Locke. Bruce, I want to thank you for dropping by today and talking to us.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, it's a joy.
I'm excited to be here.
For those that don't know, Bruce is our neighbor, so I just feel like we're carrying on from conversation we've had in the living room, right?
Right.
Tell me, Bruce, what brought you to Advent Christian Village?
Well, a lot of different things. Number one, my background. I've been a Christian my whole life. I came here. I fell in love with the area and the people, and it was a whole different way of life for me because I grew up in the city, and coming from the country was quite a transition for me, but it's been a good one.
Has it?
And now this is my home, and I love it here.
That's great, Bruce. That's great to hear. And where do you come from? What city?
The capital city of New Hampshire, Concord, New Hampshire. I've lived in Florida for over 12 years now, and it's a whole different life for me, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, good. So, if you were raised up north, then do you have, were you schooled up there? Do you have siblings?
Yes, I do. I did have. They've all passed now. I had 5 brothers. And they all stayed up in the New Hampshire area until they passed. I have a daughter and 7 grandchildren.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's quite a gang.
That's a busy daughter, isn't it,
Yeah,
Bruce?
very busy. She homeschools her children, so yeah, she's a stay-at-home mom, and she homeschools every one of them.
Well, bless her heart.
Yeah,
7 of them.
7.
What do they call you, Bruce?
Papa.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So, but all your siblings are gone. You're the last one.
I'm it.
Yeah. What did you do for a career, Bruce?
I was an interior designer for almost 40 years, 30 some odd years, and it was also an extension of my love of art. I love art, and it's been my life. I've been doing it since I was 6 years old, and I'm proud to say that today, actually, I'll be exhibiting my work. I couldn't be more thrilled.
I'm sure that's true. Nor could we. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a great talent. Who was it in your family that encouraged that talent? Because you started very young. Tell us how you started and what you started drawing.
Well, I started when I was about 5 years old with scribbling. By the time I was 6, I was doing Popeye and cartoons like Betty Boop and things like that. And then through the years, I started doing pencil sketching, and from there, I moved up to doing oil paintings, and I've worked every medium you can think of: acrylic, watercolor, ink, all of that. And it's always been my first love. My mother was my inspiration. She was an artist, and out of 6 boys in our family, I was the only one that had any artistic ability, and she picked up on that and worked with me.
Tell me what she used to tell you. You've mentioned it to me, but I'd like our listeners to hear what she would say to you.
Well, she was an obstructive critic, if you will, and she would telling me I would take one of my works, like when I was 10 or 12 years old. And she said, that's very good, but I think you can do better. And I said, okay, I'll fix it up. She said, no, you start from scratch. And she taught me well. And she also taught me that, let's see, I'm basically a portrait artist.
Right.
I do scenes and stuff, and I do wildlife. I've done all kinds of fields in art, but I'm basically a portrait artist. She told me to concentrate on the eyes because that's where the emphasis needs to be.
Right.
And,
Right.
I listen.
Right. Yeah, and so you've done that your whole life off and
My whole
on,
life.
haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you were in interior design, were you were you working in businesses or homes or what?
Yes, I did a lot of work for a lot of wealthy people, doctors, lawyers. I've done work in their homes. I did work in the hospital.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was responsible for all the artwork that went up, and what an interior designer does is they bring all the elements together, like everything from the drapes to the carpet, the wall colors, and then from there I went with the artwork that went up on the walls. You had to bring it all together.
Right.
And I did it for a long time. I loved what I did, but I said it was time to retire,
Sure.
and here I am.
Sure, of course. How long have you been here, Bruce?
I've been here a little over 12 years now, and this is my home.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we enjoy having you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
And you came with your wife, right?
I did.
Yeah.
My wife, she passed recently, and she is my inspiration as well as a real good friend of mine who also lives here. His name is Phil Martin. He was the inspiration behind this exhibit that I'm doing today, which will be honoring the veterans. I am rather humble when it comes to certain things, and I'm deeply honored. And I mean, they are honored. Everyone tells me that they're honored. I've got some of the greatest compliments from a lot of people. Bill has done so much for me. I can't thank him enough. And also the art director who's responsible for the work going up told me a while back that my work was comparable to Norman Rockwell's. Now, he had no idea that I even liked Norman Rockwell, so that took it out of the ballpark for me. It was the greatest compliment.
That is high praise, Bruce. That's high praise. So this exhibit that you're doing is veteran-oriented.
Yes,
it's for the veterans.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also putting up a few of my other works just to give people an idea of what, some of the other things that I do. But basically it's for the veterans. I've got like 10 different paintings that of the veterans from World War II to Vietnam. And I hope I've done justice. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear the feedback from a lot of our veterans and everyone else for that matter. But I've done a lot of celebrities through the years, and I'm exhibiting a couple of them as well.
Right. And you've done a good bit of religious art, Christian art, haven't you?
I have, and I did a lot of work of Jesus, some of Moses, and I've given to the church. Back before I moved here, I lived in the Tampa area, and I gave to the church, and it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I feel so blessed in so many ways. I can't tell you. I'm blessed to have the friends that I have, and I'm just I'm blessed all around, and having the opportunity to be able to express what I've done, even though I'm limited. I have I only have 2% vision in my right eye, and I'm blind in my left totally, and but nothing stops me. I keep doing what I do, and I've had people ask me, why do you continue doing what you do? I says, it keeps me going. It's what makes me happy. And as long as I can do it, I'll continue.
And you know, I think a lot of people probably don't know you have that much
Well,
vision loss.
Well, I'm kind of a quiet guy. A lot of people see me in the morning having breakfast, and they'll speak to me, and you know, I'm with my service dog, my guide dog, and they have no idea. I don't go around bragging about what I do. I don't usually. Certain people I open up to, like yourself and Phil, but a lot of people have no idea. No. But
Yeah.
they're going to find out.
Well, and you're so, you know, I think a lot of people that are going to see this will recognize you because of your service dog,
Yes.
Murphy.
Right.
She
right.
is she's a beautiful animal.
Thank you.
She is she's the one that's recognized, I think, almost before you are.
Well, that's very
Do you
true.
agree?
That absolutely. People remember her name, and I'm the guy with the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically it. They don't know me. They know of me, but they don't know me. But they all remember her and her
Yes.
name even.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of comical.
I was with a group yesterday that talked about your dog and the fact that she's female and she's named Murphy. And so people remember that.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with her name. She came from the guide dog school, and she was already named. I had another name chosen for her, but I didn't want to confuse her because she was already set with that name,
Sure,
Murphy.
sure.
And like I tell people, so if you remember the TV show Murphy Brown,
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I have a friend who also lives here, and she has a guide dog, and her dog has also got a boy's name. So
Is
it's
that
just
right?
kind of, I don't understand that one, but anyway, I had to pick her name Lucky, and the one that would have been Lucky would have been me, actually.
Yeah. Good point, Bruce. Good point.
But she's changed my life. I mean, absolutely. I'm able to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do. I couldn't go out at night. People don't know much about blindness, and I'll be honest with you, going back in time, I didn't either. I learned a lot. I learned that you never give up, and no matter what. And I've had people say, how can you walk around with a smile on your face when you have that kind of a disability? I said, I don't know how to answer that one. I simply said, that's not me.
Right.
I never give up, and
Right.
I keep going, and I try to continue doing all the things I love. It was very difficult for me when I lost my wife. She was everything to me, but she's also an inspiration behind me doing what
Yes.
I'm doing. I said there's two people, Phil Martin, which I've already mentioned, and my wife. I mean, they backed me up. And as her son said, Mom is so proud of you. And that meant everything.
Of course
hearing
it
that.
does.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned going to blind school. I don't know if I said that correctly,
Yeah.
Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
but you have talked about it a little bit with us.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that. Was an eye-opener to me what you went through. How long were you there?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, because
And that was where you got Murphy.
No.
No.
No. I learned a bit. I had to learn to walk with a white cane, blind cane, whatever
Right.
you want to call it. And I had to be certified. I had to go through a lot before I ever got my dog. I waited over a year and a half before I got my dog, and I never thought it was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I have her, and it, like I say, it's changed everything for me. I can go out at night. I'm still very cautious, but I'm not afraid of falling like I once was.
Right.
I have a lot of things that I wouldn't do. When I went to blind school, they taught us how to maneuver in your environment at home. So what I would do is I would not turn on my lights at night when I got up, because I had to have the feel of it. And they taught us to use our hand, the back of our hand, to feel the walls and maneuver, and not to have obstacles out on the floor.
Sure.
Everything has to be basically opened up,
Sure. 2 years you were there.
Yeah. Well, I repeated the course. That's
Right.
why. I didn't really get that much out of it the first time, because I wasn't really at a place where I wasn't grasping things as much. The second time around, I put everything into it, and I was more focused. I was in denial at first that this was happening to me,
of course.
but then I learned. But that's like a lot of things in life. You learn to accept things. It's just another obstacle.
Exactly.
It's like you move beyond that.
Are your other senses heightened as a result of it?
I'm sorry?
Are your other senses more heightened
Yes, absolutely.
as a result?
My sense of smell. Let me explain that one. Like you'd be in a supermarket
Sure.
and you're near when I was like in this aisle, and then I moved over I hadn't even moved to the next aisle, I could smell the bread.
Could you?
Well, I never could before. I said it was so strange.
Yeah.
Your other senses do pick up. It's funny how that happens, but it's very true. It's very true, and it made me realize a lot of things. You take a lot of things growing up. I think I took for granted, but when you lose something, then you take a second look, and you appreciate.
Sure.
And I still appreciate. I mean, I've been so blessed my whole life with good sight. So hey, I'm good today. I'm good. I mean, I try to make the most of every day, and I thank God every day, and I know I've been blessed, and I thank Him for that.
That's a wonderful attitude, Bruce. I want you to share some of the things that have been such an eye-opener that Murphy is able to do. Tell those that are sitting in with us today about the elevator.
My dog knows over 40 commands. And, well, let me put it this way. I had to go to school for a month to learn what she already knew. So that kind of tells you something. Now, I was, they took us on a field trip when I went to guide dog school. That was quite an experience. I learned so much. They took us for night walks. They did a lot of different things in our training. We worked 6 days a week. We only had Sundays off.
Wow.
And but they worked us hard. We started at 6 in the morning. I felt like I was in the army. We were up 6 o'clock in the morning, and we worked into the evening sometimes. But we had to, get all that in because we had a lot of training, and a month sounds like a lot, but it's not really. You have to really work hard. And they told me I was doing well. I said, really? But no, my dog has done some things I still don't understand how she does. We went on a field trip on the bus. There were only 6 of us in our group. And we rode on the bus, and we went to a shopping mall. And once we got there, he said, go anywhere you want. I was totally lost with that. I said, oh, okay. There were 2 floors in the building, and I'm like, okay, I'll walk around with her, and I don't know about going in the stores, but I'll walk around with her. And just as I thought the trainer was leaving, she came back and whispered in my ear. She said, tell Murphy to find an elevator. I said, what? What? Are you serious? They said, really? Tell her to find an elevator. We were like hundreds of yards for the closest elevator. And my dog started looking to the left and to the right. She found an elevator. She walked up and pointed with her nose to the button to the elevator.
Oh,
and I said, I still to this day don't know how she does that one. She still likes to learn, even though they taught her a lot. Oh yeah, she loves. They taught us about traffic lights and walk signals, and she mastered that. But but we never. That's in the city, but I'm in the country. We don't have a lot of that here, so I'm like, oh Lord, what do I do on the crosswalks here with her? So I taught her to find the curb, look both ways. If there's no cars coming, now we can go. And she listens. Now she automatically does that. I mean, that's how smart she is.
My word.
Yeah.
Do you when you're out like this in a rural setting, do you have any problem with her being distracted by a squirrel or a rabbit or a
No,
whatever?
that was all part of her training.
It was?
Yes. Well, you see, they breed these dogs for the blind and for the veterans. The veterans have first need for these dogs, and then us, and that's the way it should be. But she knows how to do all the things that she does. She's amazing. She's just
She does stairs as well.
she does stairs.
You told me.
And she knows that I'm not very good on stairs, and I avoid stairs. But when I have to, she'll walk 1 or 2 steps and stop and look at me, make sure I'm okay. It's amazing. I mean, I don't know how she does half of what she does. I just know that she does, and that I had to learn to be comfortable. I mean, I loved her, but I had to learn where I was so afraid
Yes.
of falling, especially,
Yes.
that I had to put my trust in her. And once that was there, I remember part of our training, they had like 3 flights of a stair. Oh, I was so nervous. It's like, if something spooks her, I'm going to go flying down those stairs. But it never happened. And answering your question, and I'm sorry about that. She was so well trained that all the things that she did was like an obstacle. You know, they set up
Sure.
obstacle courses for
Sure.
her. I know what I was trying to say and forgot to say. They breed these dogs, and you take 6 puppies. Through all the training that they go through, only 1 out of 6 makes the
Wow.
grade.
Wow.
But those puppies that don't make the grade are adopted out, and they make wonderful pets.
I bet. I bet. You have given us so much insight into your life, Bruce.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you being so transparent today. I do, and I know that people are going to have such a good time talking with you once they get to know you and watch some of your background
Yeah.
and see some of your artwork. And I want to thank you today for being here with us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah, it's a treat, Bruce. It is.
Well, thank
And
you.
for those of you that came and joined us today, we hope you'll come back and visit us on the porch. We have such a good time and meet wonderful people here. So you come sit a spell with us once in a while. Thank you.